Hello there, noble ones, and welcome to my retro gaming paradise. So this is the office, shall we say, or my little 90s, 80s, and even 70s museum. And it's kind of the room that I put together to sort of bring back memories of when I was a child, a teenager, growing up in the late 80s and 90s. So without further ado, I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to show you all I have: Super Nintendo, old computers, Amiga, IBM 5150, Game Boy. I've got a lot to show you, and I've also got some arcade 1-up cabinets. So without further ado, let me show you what we've got. Alright, let's go and check out this office slash man cave. And here we are. So this is the section. It's divided in kind of five sections, I suppose. This is the modern part, sort of, although there is a CRT as well in the back. But let's move on to this side where I've got my cabinets. And so I've got a Pac-Man and a Mortal Kombat from Arcade 1-Up. I love these. Then we move into this part where I've got all the old school consoles, and you kind of have two options here: CRT or flat screen. Then I have the big screen. This is an OLED panel, absolutely beautiful. And then we move into the modern computer. This is the monitor that I use. I'll leave specs in the description if you're interested. And then my Alienware, which has currently a 4090. So this is a monster. I use it for editing, video editing, but also video games. Then, and for the rest, for the next part, I need to turn on the light. We go into the actual, look at that demo. We move to the actual section of the collection, if you will. So at the top, I've got my Jade, is it called Jada Toys, Street Fighter, and I've got a few NECA that I really like, Nickelodeon. Then my Super Nintendo boxed. These are all originals, and Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. Then we've got Nintendo 64 boxed. And as we go down, we'll move into PlayStation 1. These are mostly European PAL. Xbox original, Xbox 360, some Switch, some loose games, more NECA, more games. So this is a fridge, believe it or not, where I got my drinks when I don't want to go downstairs, and Sega Master System. This is my little angle where I can sit down and relax and watch TV or play games when connected through HDMI, of course. Got a few of these. Street Fighter, very nice. Got a Sonic, YouTube play button, of course, Legend of Zelda. Then we move on the other side where I got a few boxed consoles. This is not my entire collection of boxed consoles, but it's the ones I like to show. Some Amiga boxed. These are Atari boxed from the 1970s to early 80s. And NES boxed. And then some game books and more games. Then we go into the PlayStation 4, 3, 5, 2, few models over there, more Amiga, Xbox section. But now it's my favorite part. So here we've got a little glass case with some Overwatch, and then of course the Game Boy, fully functioning, of course. Some painted miniatures, a random cami, and then the best part of all, this is the 1980s section. And so on the left, I've got an IBM 5150 fully functioning computer from 1981 with, as you can see, a monochrome green phosphorus display. And on camera, it doesn't look as good, or maybe if I get close, you can, yeah, there we go, that's closer to the actual color. The color looks amazing. This is such a machine, and it's what's making a lot of noise here. And then from 1987, we've got a functioning Amiga 500 with a Amiga 1080 monitor. Now the fact that you see it waving like this, the refresh rate, but I don't see it. You see it on camera, but I don't see it. When I watch that, full on CRT, fully functioning, and then of course all the floppy disks, which I've personally tested, and they all work. So this is of course my favorite part when I want to sort of relax, sit down and go back down memory lane, I suppose. I mean, I wasn't even born when the IBM, that kind of IBM, but it's amazing. I love, sometimes in old school games, or even in like modern games like Fallout, but when they try to recreate a little bit of a vintage look, For terminals, for example, you oftentimes see these or the amber phosphorus ones. Perhaps one day I'll get an amber monitor as well. And I love recreating my youth, because when I was in my teenage years, I used to play with the Amiga 500 a lot. So anyways, this is my room and my full office setup. Very proud of it. I think it looks clean, and most importantly, it sort of represents all the things that I love and the stuff that I collect. And that's how I enjoy playing my games and spending my free time. That's what I do. All right, but thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. Okay, but I hope that you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. Which of these systems was the most nostalgic to you? When it comes to me, I think the machine that I'm mostly connected with is the Amiga 500, because when I was 13, I bought it for just 100, was it even euros back in the day? Maybe it was 100,000 lira back in Italy, but I bought it for a very small price from a friend of mine who had just bought a computer. I think it was like a 286 or 486, I don't even remember, and so they gave me the Amiga 500 for a small price that I actually paid in installments, you know, as a 13-year-old, 20 euros a month. And then I got the computer, and I have so many good memories, and I kept playing it all the way up until the PlayStation 1 came out, which was of course the superior system, and by then the Amiga 500 was like an archaic piece of technology. But it still remained in my heart because I have a lot of good memories and so many games besides. I mean, that was the day when everybody was copying, like with Xcopier, and if you don't know how we did that, believe it or not, I got a tutorial. Very useful in 2024, but that's me. And so yeah, that's the system that I'm mostly happy with. I really like my IBM 5150, but that's from 1981. We're talking about a monochrome phosphorus display, and I will be making a dedicated video to that piece of technology, which is of course from when I wasn't even on the planet, and how I'm trying to learn how to use BASIC and DOS. Fascinating stuff. Then I'm really happy with the arcade machines from Arcade 1UP, and I think they're great when you're on a budget and you can't afford to spend like $3,000 onto a machine, but you still want to have that experience because you remember the days when you would go to the freaking arcade with your cousins and your friends, and you would just put on the coins and playing the games. These are fun, and I will make dedicated video to show you the pros and cons. I'll tell you the prices, where you can get them, and what the difference are with an actual real machine from the 80s and the 90s, which would have been of course CRT based. And when it comes to CRT, I'm a big fan of the CRT that I have behind me. Can you see it? Maybe not. Yeah, I've got a CRT behind me, and right now I've got my Super Nintendo connected, but I sometimes play my Dreamcast. All my consoles are fully functioning, and I'm a little proud of that, I'll have to tell you. And then of course one of the pièces de résistance of this room is in fact my Game Boy, because gosh, I played so much on that, it's insane. But anyways, let me know what you think. Which is the machine that you enjoy the most? Is it the PlayStation 1? Is it PlayStation 2? Feel free to let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep playing.